So welcome to KPC and welcome to morning meditation here on Saturday, this beautiful day outside. Hello to those joining online. Welcome. So we start every meditation the same way. We always want to really set our intention and motivation for doing meditation today. And really focusing on what we call bodhicitta, or our bodhicitta intention, which is the compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So that's the motivation is to benefit beings. So we will just take a moment to hold that in our minds now before we begin. All right. So we'll start with the 7-line prayer, which is how we open all of our practices here. That's on the front page of your handout. You can do your best to chant along in Tibetan. I'm going to put it up on the screen too. We'll do that 3 times in Tibetan. Organ yugi nu chamsam pemange sardombula yasan shogi no drumne pemajung ne shesudrag koryu kandro mambokor keki jesu dag drupki jinjilop shir sheksu so Guru Pema Siddhihum Organ Yugi Nucham Sam Pema Ge Sardombola Yasan Shogi No Drumne Pema Jung Ne Shesudra Koryu Kandro Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Jinjilop Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhihum Organ Yugi Nucham Sam Pema Ge Sardombola Yasan Shogi No Drumne Pema Jung Ne Shesudra Koryu Kandrom Mampokor Keki Jesu Dag Druki Jinjilop Shir Sheksu Sol Guru Pema Siddhihum. So in this class today, we'll be doing 3 different types of meditation to help stabilize our minds and also methods to open our heart. So the first meditation we'll be doing is called Shamatha meditation, or calm abiding meditation. So each week we refresh ourselves on the meaning of meditation and why do we do meditation. So meditation is the natural state of our mind when it's relaxed, stable, and open. It trains our mind to be relaxed and open and also wakeful and alert. So if we can imagine, most of the time, our mind can run very wild and be filled with so many thoughts, so busy. And it's hard with our modern lives and all the demands that are upon us, that are just a part of keeping up with our lives. It's really hard to find the time to have true rest. Like, when do we allow our mind to rest? We might not even know, until we try meditation, we might not even know how busy our minds are, how much they jump from thing to thing to thing to thing. Like, almost like a mental inflammation of the mind. Um, and so um, meditation really allows us that stability and spaciousness. And that's the whole reason we do meditation, is to create more spaciousness in our mind. And so that we are the ones in control of our mind, not the other way around. But the mind is also like a muscle. So just the same way that we use our muscles to stay in shape, or to stay healthy, we can do the same thing with our mind. So the more that we practice meditation, the more we increase that length of stability. We can see our mind being able to be more focused during meditation. So it's kind of a long-term game. If you meditate once, you might notice a little more spaciousness in your mind, but really it's when we show up again and again that we create that true stability of mind. And then we become less reactive. We become less, emotional in our responses. So when a situation arises in our life, we are able to respond in a more calm, centered way. And I think we could all use that. I don't think anyone is free from not having a reactive mind. So we can all work on this, and we're all in this together. So meditation is also very important in Buddhism, because it's the first step in developing bodhicitta. Again, that compassionate wish to free all beings from suffering. So if we have constant mental agitation, if we're very reactive all the time, if we're extremely self-centered, and only concerned about, we're just kind of swirling in our own soup, so to speak, then how can we think of others and what others might need and how we might benefit others? So again, we need that spaciousness in our mind to even have compassion, that bodhicitta intention, even grow in that space. We need that spaciousness. So we'll start, again, if you're sitting or in a chair, we just want to have a straight spine. So we have a lifted spine, and our shoulders are back, our elbows are back, and then the traditional posture of our hands, the right hand over the left with our thumbs touching, like that, in our lap. And with this meditation, we keep our eyes open, but gently open, not intently staring towards the floor. We just have a relaxed gaze toward the floor, almost like we are drawing a line from the bridge of our nose, extending out and resting our gaze upon a point in the line, like that. And then also we're just going to do our best to breathe naturally. It might take a few deep breaths to get to a more natural rhythm of our breath. And we also are keeping our mouths very slightly open. So, it's not like open, it's just a little bit like there's a little bit of space between your lips, like that. And we do this by putting the tip of our tongue in the back of our front teeth, almost like you're saying the letter L. So it's just resting there really lightly, just allowing a little bit of breath to come through the mouth as well. Again, we're breathing naturally. And the whole focus of this meditation is on the breath. So sometimes in a meditation, maybe you're focusing on a statue or a candle, which is fine to do as well. But today we're focusing on the breath. And you always have your breath with you, so you can do this anytime. So when any thoughts start to arise, we're just going to gently turn our minds back to the breath. No need to punish ourselves or say, oh, I'm so distracted today. We just bring our attention back to the breath. Your attention is like a feather gently riding the surface of your breath. So it's a very light, gossamer thin attention on the breath. If you find that your mind is very busy today, you can imagine cutting a thought, just like cutting it or tossing it out and returning to the breath. So we're going to try this. We'll just do a little warm-up round. It's always best when you're starting meditation to start where you are. It's not advised to begin meditation by doing like a 45-minute session. It's better to do small increments of time until you start to feel more stable in your mind and less distracted. All right, so here's my timer. Do a couple minutes. So now we'll try just a few minutes more and just try a little bit longer now. One little tip is if you can, if you're feeling like your mind's very busy today, you can actually lower your gaze a little bit, and it lets less light into your eyes to make you a little more focused, and calm the mind. And if you're feeling extra sleepy, you can actually raise your gaze and let more light into your eye, which will help keep the mind more alert. Okay, so we'll try that again. Here's the timer. Okay. So now that we've created a little more stability in our mind, maybe our mind feels a little calmer now, we're going to do a meditation to help develop our heart. So the practice of Tonglen, or giving and receiving, it's done to develop our compassion and our ability to be present for our own suffering and the suffering of others. So this practice trains in the energy of loving kindness to open our hearts to suffering and to transform it into well-being. So in this practice, we're actually imagining that we're taking on all the suffering of others and sending them our happiness. So obviously, this is a mental exercise. We're not actually taking all their suffering or removing all their suffering by doing this. But by doing this practice, we gradually cease to cherish ourselves over others. So, and it really helps us develop a stronger wish to benefit others, and helps us with our thoughts of equanimity towards all beings. So we're going to stay in our meditation posture, and we're going to pick one or two people or beings. This could be a family member, a pet, anyone you feel, you easily feel love and affection towards. Someone who, if you could imagine that person suffering, that would be, that their suffering would touch your heart. It's just, you have a well of love towards this person. And you can imagine one person, and, as you're doing it, you can imagine maybe another person there too, however you want to do that. So anyone you easily feel compassion towards. So with them, visualized in front of you, you're going to really contemplate what it would be like to put yourself in their place. So maybe they're going through a hard time, or if you're imagining them suffering, you really are imagining that you're taking that suffering onto yourself. And you're letting that feeling of taking that suffering really give rise to compassion in your heart. So we're cultivating in our heart a fervent wish to relieve the suffering of this person and to secure their happiness. So we're doing this by focusing on our breath again. So on the inhale, we're imagining that we're taking on all their suffering, all their sadness, all their misery, anything they're experiencing that's causing them discomfort. We're taking that in. We're breathing that in on the inhale. So breathing that in, and we're breathing that in as like a dark, like a black smoke. And then we're imagining as we exhale that we're sending them all of our love, all of our happiness, every cause of happiness, all of the deepest joy we could ever experience. And we're sending that to them in this pure, radiant light. And it's bringing them this joy and this happiness. And you really experience them taking that on and receiving all of your love and all of your care and all your good qualities. So you're just giving them everything. So to simplify this, you might think on the inhale, may you be happy, or sorry, as you breathe in, may I free you from suffering. And then as you breathe out, may you be happy. So again, we're doing with every inhale and exhale, having this visualization. So we're going to start just doing that for a few minutes. And really just have that compassion well up in your heart. And you would never want this person to suffer. So taking that all into yourself like that, and then giving them all your love and compassion in this white, kind of bright light. Okay, so we'll do this for a few minutes. So we're going to repeat this exercise, but now we're going to visualize one or two people for whom we feel intense anger or aversion towards, or upset or frustration. This can be harder to do because we feel like maybe this person doesn't deserve all the happiness in the world, or they don't deserve our happiness or our joy, and we don't necessarily feel like we want to take away their suffering and then give all this happiness to them. The whole point of this meditation is to increase our scope of love and compassion to all beings. And at the root of it, even someone that maybe has done you wrong or, caused you anguish or sadness, they too are doing their best and trying to be happy. They might not know how to do that. They maybe have hurt people along the way, but all beings wish to be happy. And if we can really get that, if we can truly understand that usually we're just most of the time creating a lot of causes that cause our own suffering and can contribute to the suffering of others around us. But if we really understand that we're all really trying to be happy, then you can understand even someone that makes you so angry or so annoyed or whatever it is, that they too are trying to be happy. And so something that helps me with this too is really imagining that when I'm taking their suffering in and giving them all my happiness and joy, that I watch them experience what would they be like if they were just filled with happiness and joy, and just experiencing them like that in front of me. And imagining if, all of their sufferings or any, anger in their mind or upset in their mind, that all of that's gone, they would just be shining there in front of you. So again, this can be hard to do, but it chips away at the walls around our heart saying, oh, you deserve my love and you don't. So we're going right to that spot of discomfort. And we're trying to give our happiness away, even if we have clutched fists at first, like barely wanting to give anything to this person. So that's we're trying to shift our mind around that. And if you feel like you don't have anyone in your life that you have like intense anger or aversion towards, this could be just someone that has upset you again or annoyed you, or maybe you got in an argument or something this week. Anything like that you can use for this meditation. So we'll do this for a couple minutes. Just do your best. All right. All right, and we're going to just continue this for one more minute. And this can include just a larger group of people. Again, maybe you have some upset towards a larger group of people. So just increasing the scope of this same visualization. So let's try this for one more minute. All right. So again, as our meditation deepens and our heart opens, we can just gradually increase the scope of this visualization to include larger and larger groups of people until all of our kindness and compassion can embrace all beings throughout existence. So the whole point of this is to develop equanimity for all beings. So now we will finish with a prayer by our teacher Jetsunma Lama. It's called the Light Expansion Prayer, where we're imagining this light expanding farther and farther out. So you can just listen along, and I'll just read it. So it's a guided meditation. Let us become still. Take a deep breath and let it out slowly. Again. Let us center deep within. Center deep within. Deep within to the presence of the Absolute. And there is radiance. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the physical body. And all of the physical body is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill our beings on all dimensions. And all that we are is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill everyone here. And everyone here on all dimensions is filled with the presence of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this building. And all of this building is filled with the light of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace this nation. And all the government of this nation is filled with the radiance of the Absolute. and the people of this nation are one life. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace planet Earth, and all nations and all governments are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And there is peace. And the 8 billion are one life, radiant. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to fill this galaxy. All planets, all stars, and all life forms are within the embrace of the Absolute. The presence of the Absolute increases and expands to embrace the universe. All dimensions and all kingdoms are filled with the presence of the Absolute. And in all the universe, there is only one life. Now, as we return our consciousness back to physical form, we continue to embrace all that is and to know union, that we are one. And now we will finish our meditation, our Tonglen, and our light expansion prayer. We will finish this practice together by sealing in the virtue, the benefit, the merit of doing this practice together. We will do some dedication prayers. I'll put them up on the screen now. Throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtue I have accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice, and all that I will ever attain, this I offer for the welfare of sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased for every being, while their wisdom and compassion increase in this and every future life. May I clearly perceive all experiences to be as insubstantial as the dream fabric of the night, and instantly awaken to perceive the pure wisdom display in the rising of every phenomenon. May I quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the liberation of all sentient beings. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas altogether, whatever kind of motivation you have, whatever kind of beneficial action, whatever kind of wishing prayers, whatever kind of omniscience, whatever kind of life accomplishment, whatever kind of benevolent power, and whatever kind of immense wisdom you have, similarly I, who have come in the same way to benefit beings, pray to attain these qualities. By this effort, may all sentient beings be free of suffering. May their minds be filled with the nectar of virtue. In this way, may all causes resulting in suffering be extinguished, and only the light of compassion shine throughout all realms. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for those watching online. We do this every week, Saturdays at 11, and tomorrow we have a different schedule starting at 11:30. We have, through our teacher Jetsunma's blessing, we have our resident Kempo Karze teaching tomorrow and leading meditation at 11:30. And so we do that every week at 11:30. So please join us for that. And if you are local, please come. And if you're watching online, we also stream that online as well. So please enjoy the property today. There's many things to see and do here. We have beautiful statues and stupas and a koi pond and sweet little farm animals, and many walking trails across the street with a big Guru Rinpoche statue and 65 acres of walking trails. So there's a lot to see and do. So again, thank you for coming. And I'm going to end the